Hello, Sophia. I'm so excited that we are going to do this again. We are going to walk together through Lent, just like we walked together through Advent. Now, we're getting ready for different things. With Advent, we were getting ready for Christmas, right? And you kind of knew Advent already because you have Advent calendars, and Christmas is pretty exciting. So we look forward to doing a countdown to that, right? Um, this time, what Lent is the 40 days before Easter. And actually, if you look at a calendar, it's like 44 days or 45 days. And that's because the Sundays in Lent don't count. Those are what we always call feasts. We call feast days. Sundays are always feast days because we are always celebrating the resurrection of Jesus, that he is alive and among us. And so even in the season of Lent, when we're thinking about Jesus's death, we get reminded on Sundays that Jesus didn't stay dead. So Lent is kind of a time of waiting and preparing. We are preparing ourselves for the death and the resurrection of Jesus. So it's a little bit more serious than Advent. A lot of times people will give something up for Lent, like chocolate or candy or screen time. You might have friends who are doing that. They're giving up something that they like and which matters to them, which we call a sacrifice. And that's because Jesus sacrificed himself for us. Jesus, when he dies because we're like hostages. We're like people who have been kidnapped, and we're in slavery to sin and death, and sin and death are doing terrible things to the world. It's why we see so much suffering and so much sickness and so much sadness. And Jesus says, I want you to be free from that. And the way to do that is that I'm going to lay down, I'm going to sacrifice my own life, and then I'm going to defeat death by coming back to life. And then you get to become part of that you get baptized into the body, and you are now part of that new life. And you don't have to be controlled by sin anymore either. So people, to prepare for Jesus' sacrifice and to kind of participate in it with him in some way, sometimes give something up for Lent. So you may know people who are doing something like that. I don't give up anything for Lent. I just try to be more consistent about my prayer and Bible study. So there are a lot of different ways that we can prepare ourselves for Jesus. So our first reading is going to be something we've actually read before. We are going to go back to Luke. The 40 days of Lent mirror the 40 days that Jesus spent in the desert when the devil was tempting him at the very beginning of his ministry. So it's in Luke 4 at the very beginning. And we'll see if we notice anything or if anything stands out to us that is different from what stood out to us when we first did it in Advent, when we were early in Advent. Because one of the really cool things about the Bible is that every time we read it, we'll notice new things. Jesus, full of the Holy Spirit, returned from the Jordan and was led by the Spirit in the desert, where for 40 days he was tempted by the devil. He ate nothing during those days, and at the end of them he was hungry. The devil said to him, "If you are the Son of God, tell this stone to become bread." Jesus answered, "It is written, man does not live on bread alone." He's quoting the Bible. The devil led him up to a high place and showed him in an instant all the kingdoms of the world. And he said to him, "I will give you all their authority and splendor, for it has been given to me, and I can give it to anyone I want to. So if you worship me, it will all be yours." Jesus answered, "It is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." The devil led him to Jerusalem and had him stand on the highest point of the temple. "If you are the Son of God," he said, "throw yourself down from here. For it is written, he will command his angels concerning you to guard you carefully. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone." Jesus answered, "It says, do not put the Lord your God to the test." When the devil had finished all this tempting, he left him until an opportune time. You know what I think I noticed this time? We might have talked about it last time, I don't remember. But what I noticed is especially in the third temptation, when the devil says, if you're really the Son of God, like he's trying to make Jesus doubt who he really is. Sometimes doubt comes in and we think, am I really as special as the people who love me say that I am? Am I really as smart as that? Am I really as talented? Am I really as valuable. And what Jesus is saying is, don't you listen to those voices. Don't you listen to the enemy when he comes and tells you, are you really important? Do you really matter to God? Jesus is saying, I know exactly who I am. I am the Son of God. You are a child of God. You are created by God, who has a plan from you from the very beginning, the very first breath that you take. God has a plan for your life. And you never have to doubt that. You never have to doubt how valuable you are, how precious you are, and how important you are. And that everything you do, every good thing and every bad thing, every time you mess up, that's all okay. God is using all of that to make you into the person that you're going to be most fully and completely yourself. So I think what I'm noticing here is Jesus saying to the devil, you don't get to make me try and doubt who I am. I know exactly who I am, and I'm not going to question that. I know that I'm loved. I know that I'm special, and I know that I have something special that I'm supposed to do, and there's nothing you can do that's going to make me doubt my identity. There are a lot of things in the world that try and make us doubt who we are. Sometimes they make us doubt ourselves because we're girls. Sometimes you'll feel like people make you doubt yourself because you're black. Sometimes we feel like people doubt us because we're young or because we're older, or and sometimes just because doubting ourselves and feeling like we're weak or not good enough is kind of just part of being human. And Jesus is reminding us here, because he reminds himself, nope, I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be and where I'm supposed to be. And God has me here for a reason. And I don't have to doubt that I've missed God's plan, or that I'm not as important, or that I'm not talented enough or good enough for the things that he wants me to do. He has fully equipped me for everything that I am going to do. And I know that I am special.